This is the greatest misconception about manifestation. Manifestation, right? So it's a bit of a buzzword nowadays. You know, people love to put that word anywhere. You know, they like to say, "Yo, do this, you're manifesting. Do that, you're manifesting." All right, cool. So there's one thing that you need to understand about manifestation, and this is probably going to break your previous misconceptions of it. And the one thing that you need to understand about manifestation is that it is not getting what you want. Unfortunately, it's not getting what you want. And the reason why it's not getting what you want the reason why it's not getting what you want is because if you think about it, what you want, right, you never really get. The people that have the most money in the world don't really need it. The people that have the least money in the world need it a lot, want it a lot. You wanting something signifies to reality, gives off the implication to reality that you don't even have it. There is something that is applied to the things that you want. The things that you really want, you apply an extreme amount of importance to. And anything that you apply an extreme amount of importance to is put on a pedestal above yourself. And putting anything on a pedestal above yourself coincides with the notion that the external isn't a result of you. It coincides with the illusion of polarity. It coincides with the idea that you do not perpetuate your reality, whether it's a desired reality or not. Because in regards to manifestation, you've got to realize that it's not an on and off switch. Manifestation is something that you do automatically. You've been doing it ever since you were born. The only difference between then and now is that now you are in the driver's seat. Now there is conscious direction. Just let that sink in. Let that sink in. Because I guess one thing that people have, or one struggle that people have in regards to manifestation is the idea that they've never manifested before. But the truth is, anything within your outward reality is something that is a result of you. So you have manifested before. You have been doing it since you were a child. Now, manifestation, right? As I've said before, it is literally just a corresponding external. It's literally just an external event or external object that corresponds with something that is already internal. And manifestation is simply going from one frequency to another. You wanting something gives off the implication that you don't already have it. Now, when I say have, I am not referring to having within, I guess, the general consensus of having, or the general definition of having where you can physically touch it. I'm referring to having to the point where you are internally convinced that you have it without needing external reality to show it to you. You're not emotionally dependent upon seeing it externally to feel as if you already have it. Because that is all that manifestation really is. Manifestation is just a reverse engineering of the process that most go through. The process that most go through is trying to get whatever it is that they want externally to then feel the way that they want to feel internally. But manifestation is reverse engineering that process and feeling it internally before you already have it externally. Feeling it internally, and as a result, experiencing it, having it externally. Because manifestation is not really changing your reality, because you don't really directly change your reality. You only change your reality indirectly. You change your reality by first changing yourself. And as yourself begins to change, your reality begins to change. And until you come to that realization, you're always going to be stuck, because you're always going to be thinking, oh, I'm visualizing, I'm writing affirmations, I'm doing mood boards, etc. But it hasn't come into my reality yet. And that's because you forgot the final piece of manifestation, which is letting go. Because if you don't let go, you are never going to collapse that level of importance, because the importance is the obstacle between you and your desired reality, you and your desired object, you and whatever it is you desire. The importance that you apply to it is the reason why you don't have it. Think about it this way: those shoes that you really wanted when you were a kid, right? That maybe your older sibling or someone bought for you, or anything that you really wanted in life that someone gifted to you, or that you finally got yourself. Once you finally got that thing, you didn't really want it anymore. You didn't really care for it anymore. And that is what manifestation is. Manifestation is changing your frequency to the point where you have something and you don't really care for it that much. You're good with it and you're good without it. Think about it this way: that one guy who doesn't really care about girls, who doesn't really, treat them the best, let's say, it's always the one where they're coming to him in abundance, where a girl will just look at him and be like, oh, what's your name? You're kind of cute, like, what's your name, etc. And you're just like, wait, what the fuck? How's this nigga getting things? Like, what, he treats them terribly, etc. Blah 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 blah. Now, this is not me saying you have to treat women terribly to get them. This is just me using an example from a metaphysical perspective. Okay, guys, that's not what I'm saying. Treat your girls nicely, take them out for dinner, buy them gifts. Shit, it's even Valentine's Day. Oh shit, it's Valentine's Day tomorrow. I don't even know that. It's Valentine's Day tomorrow, man. Treat your girl nicely, man. Take her out, bro. Take her out, get, I don't know, get her to drink some rum punch, or something, like, bro. Oh, like, I don't know, take her to the club, buy her a zoo. Who ordered a zoo? Sorry. I'm going off a tangent here. Let me get back to the main point. But yeah, essentially my main point is that in order for you to have something, you need to collapse that importance. And manifestation, right, is the whole process of doing all this, of doing all the practical action, right? The visualization, the relaxation before the visualization and everything. The reason why you visualize, or I guess create that imaginative scene which utilizes your physical senses, is to increase your self-worth, because your self-worth is just anything you've already emotionally experienced. And that coincides with the truth that your subconscious mind cannot distinguish between imagination and reality. And because your subconscious mind cannot distinguish between imagination and reality, you then abuse that fact by creating an imaginative scene which is in alignment with your desired reality, with your desired experience. So you doing that literally collapses the importance, because you emotionally experiencing that event a multitude of times will make it get to the point where you won't feel emotion anymore in regards to that event, in regards to that reality. You won't feel that euphoria anymore. It will get to a point where you don't really feel anything. You feel neutral. And that is kind of the goal there, because one thing that people, I guess, start to misconstrue is that you should always be feeling the positive emotion. Sorry, you should always be feeling the positive emotion that, one second, let me drink some water. Maybe that's it. Let me get some water in there. Let me get something in my mouth. Pause. Fucking hell. Anyway, as I was saying, when it comes to visualization, there is the idea that you must always be feeling positive emotion when you visualize. But that really isn't in alignment with the point of manifestation. Manifestation is internally aligning with something to the point where you don't even want it anymore, where you don't even care for it that much anymore. And the key here is to realize that when you're visualizing something and then it gets to the point where you've done it for time, right? And you've been feeling the emotion, but then it finally gets to the point where you do it and you don't really feel anything. That isn't a bad sign. That's a good sign, because it means that that importance is collapsing. It has been collapsed. And because you've collapsed that importance, it is now much easier for it to come into your life. And because you collapse that importance, you can fully let go. The real definition of manifestation is just internal alignment to the point where you don't even care for the external anymore. You don't need to see it externally to feel as if you already have it. You have fully reverse engineered the process. You have worked multi-dimensionally. You have applied the necessary information in regards to what you've done on the spiritual and mental planes, the causal realms, which then affects the physical, the effect. And because you've directly changed yourself, you are indirectly changing what is outward, the external. And once you come to this one truth about manifestation, it makes shit really simple, really. It makes it like much easier to conceptualize and understand. And it also stops the doubt that can sort of creep up. But one thing about doubt is you shouldn't even demonize doubt, because demonizing doubt only gives it more power. You should just recognize doubt as your old frequency trying to perpetuate its anxiety of you leaving that frequency onto you. So it will put doubt onto you to try and get you to think, oh, I'm doing this wrong. But in reality, you're doing it right. And because you're doing it right, it's trying to project that it's trying to project that fear it has of you leaving it as doubt onto you. So feel happy or feel good when you're starting to doubt. Feel like, oh shit, that nigga knows that I'm cutting, and now he's trying to get me back. He sees that I'm leveling up, now he's trying to get me back. Who does he think he is, fam? I'm not nigga, I'm not gold, fam. I'm not nigga, I'm not gold. Like, you ain't doing nothing to me. I'm going to that new frequency. I'm leveling up. I'm a change man now. I'm a change woman now. I'm leveling up. Go on, like, have thoughts within that realm. When you start to feel like doubt that's come out of nowhere. When that doubt hits you out of nowhere, that's when you know that you're just about to shift into that new frequency. And as a result of shifting into that new frequency, you then indirectly change your outward reality. Boom, bada beat, but bow. Just like that. And I guess one thing that you need to come to an understanding of is your frequency has 7 different keys, right? And these 7 different keys are simply just you. They're all just different aspects of you. Your beliefs, your perception, your attention, what you place your attention towards, right? Your emotionally charged thoughts, your conviction, your expectations, and then finally your reactions, what you react to. So, what you shouldn't be focused on is whatever's happening in the external, whether, I don't know, say you're manifesting 10k a month, right? What you shouldn't be focusing on, oh, has the 10k come yet? Is it here yet? This, that, is it here yet? Oh, when's it gonna come? What you should be focusing on is, are my beliefs in alignment with someone who would make 10k a month? Examples of beliefs within that like sector would probably be something like money is abundant, there's enough money for everyone, money is easy to get, there are a lot of opportunities for money, etc. Is my perception in alignment with that? Because in order for your frequency to be created or even maintained, you cannot allow for any distortions. There cannot be any distortions. Is your perception in alignment with that? Is your perception that money is everywhere? Or that money, if your perception of money is evil, for example, because a lot of people like to say that money is the root of all evil, but that isn't really true, because if you were to think about it, assault, rape, there are many things that are in alignment with evil that people do, which doesn't give them any money whatsoever. So yeah, it's not really the root of all evil, but yeah, I think my personal, idea of money is that money just really just reveals the true nature of a person. It just reveals who you really are without the shackles of the disapproval, dislike of society, because money gives you power. Then as a result of getting that power, you gain more confidence, and as you gain that more confidence, you then begin to do the things that you weren't able to do before, or that you didn't want to do before, because you are now someone who has power. What can they do to you? You've got bread, you've got clout, or whatever. What can they do to you? Now, without going off on a tangent, like I said, beliefs, your beliefs in regards to money, your perceptions in regards to money, your expectations in regards to money. Do you expect to always be losing money and never getting any more? All right. Do you expect for money to always be going, or do you expect for money to always be coming in? Do you expect to just randomly get money from someone out of nowhere? Do you expect to just randomly receive gifts in regards to money? Your reactions. How do you react when, I guess, you've got a low bank balance? Do you even react to it? Is it something that you even place your attention towards? And when I say react, I'm not saying you ignore it, because ignoring actually gives it more power. Because when you ignore something within your reality, it gives off the implication that you looking at it or you perceiving it has more power over your internal direction of, or internal label of what it is. So your reactions. Are you reacting or are you responding? Are you reacting in the way where you're allowing your external to determine what goes on internally, or are you responding where your internal has power over the external, where you don't even deep it like that, where it's just like, okay, well, I know that's soon, that's about to change, or that's already changed, etc. Your emotionally charged thoughts in regards to money. Are your emotionally charged thoughts in regards to money negative thoughts or positive thoughts? And that's only something that you will know. You can't lie to yourself, because when you're lying to yourself, you're lying, isn't it? And then after that, you have, wait a minute, how many did I mention? Beliefs, perceptions, expectations, reactions, emotionally charged thoughts. Okay, conviction. Your conviction. How's your conviction, right? Are you convicted in the idea that you can get money like that? Do you have that confidence, right? And the truth is, when it comes to conviction, the only way you can tap into conviction more is to realize that conviction comes as a result of a high level of self-confidence. And self-confidence, there is only one way to build self-confidence. There is only one. Wow, maybe I need to drink some water again. Actually, you know what? I don't think I need the water this time. And there is only one way to build self-confidence, and that is to build evidence. Because a lot of the times when it comes to self-confidence, people like to, I guess, imagine this idea of a man or a girl who's extremely extravagant and extremely it's all outwardly. They're all, they're loud, they are extremely social, they are things of that nature. You get what I mean, and you get what type of person that is that I'm trying to describe. But the truth is, real confidence is actually sort of silent. Real confidence is an internal knowing that you're that guy. You get me? Now, like I said, self-confidence is built by evidence, and evidence is simply just the idea of, not the idea, but the action of treating your word as law. Anything you tell yourself to do, you do. Anything you know you shouldn't be doing, you don't do. Anything you know you should be doing, you do. Now, that is going to be different for everyone, because when I've just mentioned those two things about the things that you shouldn't and should be doing, people are probably thinking about like vices like drinking alcohol, or sorry, I just need to stretch for a minute, drinking alcohol or having sex, or partying, etc. But the truth is, anything that is a vice to you is just something you see as a vice. It has nothing to do with, social media's perception of partying, right? Because depending on which side of social media your algorithm is showing you, so they'll say partying is terrible for you, should never party, this or that, and then others will say that partying is great, you need to have fun, etc. blah blah blah. So if you see partying as a vice, and you think it is something you shouldn't be doing, and it's something that is stopping you from being in your desired reality, being in your desired frequency, then okay, stop partying. But if you don't think that it is, and that it's not a vice to you, then don't stop. If you think that smoking is a vice to you, stop. If you don't think that smoking is a vice to you, then don't stop. I think that's really it, to be honest. That's how you can keep it nice and simple in regards to self-confidence. Sorry, not in regards to self-confidence. I mean, in regards to self-confidence as well, but the subset of doing what you should be doing and not doing what you shouldn't be doing. Now, how many is that I fully mentioned? I think that's 6. I don't think I've said all of them. I said your beliefs, your perceptions, your expectations, your reactions, your emotionally charged thoughts, and then I said your conviction, Also, conviction is literally just manifesting like the small things. Like conviction is just, you know, when you're talking to someone, right, and someone says something or they do something, but before they do that, or before they say that, you're like, wait a minute, I knew that shit was gonna happen. It's like something clicked internally. You're like, wait a minute, I knew you were gonna do that shit. And conviction is not to be confused with the realm of believing, because when you're talking about conviction and faith and, you know, knowing that something is going to happen or believing in yourself, etc., people tend to, you know, I guess, give believing the wrong definition. They'll use believing and talk about the realm of trusting things to happen. But the truth is, trust leaves room for the possibility of doubt, which is not what we want. We don't want any doubt in there. Conviction is the realm of knowing. Conviction is the realm of fact. It's the same way. Conviction, you barely think about at all, right? Conviction, if I was to turn on that light switch, right? Or sorry, if I was to press that switch, I know that light is turning on. There is no like thoughts behind it. I'm convicted and I know it. It has to become like factual to you that it has happened. You get me? And then finally, after conviction, you have your attention, which was, I believe, attention was the topic of my video before this. It should be, unless I decide to upload the videos in a different order later on. Anyways, yeah, attention. What do you place your attention towards? Is it in alignment with your desired reality? In this case, we were talking about money, I'm pretty sure. So are you placing your attention on how much money there is in the world, how abundant money is, and how there's literally an infinite amount of money, and, you know, anyone can go from, I guess, rags to riches? Are you focusing on that, or are you focusing on all the poverty within the world? And that is really it in regards to, you know, your internal work that needs to be done. If you want to focus on anything, you should be focusing on your internal over the external. All day, every single time, baby. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Write down the beliefs, perceptions, expectations, reactions, attention, emotionally charged thoughts, and the conviction. Oh, my belly's rumbling. Someone's a bit hungry. That your desired self would have. And then ask yourself, after the day is ended or during the day, if you want, ask yourself if your beliefs, your perception, your attention, your expectations, your reactions, your emotionally charged thoughts, your conviction, ask yourself if all of that was in alignment with your desired self. Because if it was in alignment with your desired self, then that's perpetuating your desired reality. If it wasn't, then that is not perpetuating your desired reality. Get rid of all the distortions, all of the differentiations in your frequency, and watch as you begin to shift to the frequency that you want, and, you know, you begin to shift to that person who already has it internally and doesn't need it externally. There won't be any more, oh, is it coming here or is it here? Because manifestation is just thinking from the end. It's thinking and feeling from the end. It is thinking and feeling from already being there, already having it. Now, this isn't to say if your goal is to manifest 10k in a month and your bank balance is not reflecting 10k in a month, to go and buy something that you would buy if your bank balance was reflecting 10k in a month. That is not what I'm telling you to do, because that is, you know, not the greatest. You don't have to do that. I don't think you should do that. I mean, if you want to, go ahead, but yeah. Because a lot of the times, right, you doing all of this internal work, right, adjusting your frequency, what's going to happen is, due to the natural, I guess, flow of how things get perpetuated into the physical, right? This is how it works. You first have your frequency, right? And, you know, everyone knows what the frequency is. Frequency, your identity, your state of consciousness, all the same thing. And then you have your intuition. Intuition stems from the two words inner and guidance, right? So it's just guidance from within. And then this intuition then perpetuates a compelling thought. And then that compelling thought is a thought which compels you to take some sort of action, any sort of action. The action can sometimes not even be in relation to your goal, seemingly, because in the way that it works, it's completely illogical, like I said. So this action would be an inspired action. And then once you take that action has a magnitude of an effect, or sorry, its effect is magnified. I don't know if Does that make sense? Anyways, yeah, its effect is magnified by tenfold towards your desired reality. Because sometimes action can really just be distraction. You cannot go from a state of wealth, you cannot go from a state of poverty to wealth without first being in that state. You cannot go from, you cannot take an action of wealth while being in a state of poverty. You cannot take an action of fitness while being in a state of unfitness. You cannot take an action of health while being in a state of unhealthiness. There you go. And that is everything really in the video summed up. Thank you for taking your time to watch, and make sure you were taking notes. If you weren't, you know what the deal was. Go back, write them notes, my nigga, and put them down in the YouTube comments, okay, so that other people can see what your beautiful mind has managed to, I guess, extract from the video. So yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys later in a bit, man. Enjoy your day, enjoy your week.